At this time, I'd like everybody, please stand, remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. We honor those who serve and those who continue to serve our freedom.
Well, welcome back to Marvel Park, everybody. Scott Marlowe with you. Joined this evening by Joe Stringer. He's going to fill in for Tony Fuentes. He's out of town this week, so Joe's going to fill in as my color man and also take care of our live video feed tonight. And Joe, I know you've never been up here, I don't think this season, but man, Vikings sitting at 4-0 on the year, playing an 0-4 Riverton team, and according to Coach Scheibe, that is a little misleading. But man, the Vikings, they're definitely favored tonight, and man, if they can get a win tonight, they're going to go into the rest of district play 5-0 and riding as high as they possibly can.
You know, Scott, like we were talking before with this game, we were talking about maybe one or maybe two of those games after tonight, and we'll secure ourselves a playoff. And for the Vikings to be able to secure a playoff, they're going to home plus them, and they're giving them a little time to use that last game to rest some of these players if we want to go into the playoffs healthy.
Yeah, and he mentioned that just a little bit in the pregame interview. Cade Brown still has that high ankle sprain, and he's still gimpy, and I see him out on the field right now for the opening coin toss. But yeah, with this being a non-district game, it's kind of a bizarre schedule this year where we started district play last week against Baxter, and then a non-district game tonight, and then follow up with 3 district games to end the regular season. But yeah, the Vikings, they do need to get completely healthy, because quite honestly, their 3 toughest games of the season, and this is no disrespect to Riverton at all, but the 3 toughest games of the season most likely are still down the road. We go to Galena, and then host Frontenac, and then go to Columbus. And I don't think that's going to be the gauntlet that it would have been over the last 5 or 6 years, but those are 3 outstanding programs. Right. Yep. That would be an ideal situation for sure. I just noticed the Vikings didn't win the opening coin toss, and they deferred to the second half. Riverton has elected to receive, and we're just a couple of minutes away from football. It is pink out night here at Marvel Park. Yeah, absolutely. It was a very nice presentation, and a good way to get this beautiful evening at Marble Park kicked off. Not much breeze. The flag is limp, but the temperature is perfect. I haven't pulled it up on my phone, but I'm guessing we're probably sitting in the low to mid 70s right now, and we'll drop back into the 60s by the time this game comes to an end. Vikings 4-0, have not been seriously challenged this season, found themselves in a 14-0 hole down at Altamont against the Grizzlies, but then for the most part took care of business the last 3 quarters of that ball game. We're just moments away from opening kickoff. Chase Quirin getting the ball set up at the 40-yard line. Been great having Quirin back on the roster after he suffered that really bad injury last year and had to sit out the entire season. Riverton has a couple of guys back deep at the 5-yard line. Riverton in their traveling white, gold helmets. Vikings in their home blue and gold. Quirin approaches, and it's a nice high end-over-end kick, fielded at the 6-yard line and returned to the 15. We're looking for an opening over the right side. Decent return out across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. I think that was Lake Crowder on the return. Riverton. A good place kicker at the high school level is almost invaluable. Oh, and just right out of the gate, the Vikings jump off sides, and that's the sort of thing you don't want to do against a team that you're expected to beat. I think that was Kendrick, a little over-anxious.
You call it over-anxious, I call it hungry. They're ready, they're disciplined, but they're hungry. They want to get in there and they want to do something.
5 yards, first and 5.
Single back set for the Rams. And they give it to the running back right up the middle, and he's into the secondary and has a first down across the 45 to about the 46. So a good start for the Rams. They have struggled to put points on the board this season, but they've also been plagued by turnovers, and obviously if you're turning the ball over, points will be hard to come by. Goodman, the junior quarterback, is under center. Now shift on the offensive line. There's the snap, and they keep it on the ground. And the running back bounces off a would-be tackler. That was North, I believe. This one, 14-7. Over the Riverton Rams. Rams sitting at 0-4, Vikings 4-0. And Coach Scheibe was right. He said this Riverton team has some talent. Well, he didn't get nearly as much yardage as I thought he did. They're going to spot it just across the 20. Hint of desperation by this winless Riverton team. After jumping out to a 7-0 lead, they find themselves trailing 21-7. And they were just overpowering the Vikings early, running in between the tackles. Now they're trying to throw in a little far. It's just not working. Goodman under center, but we have Riverton taking their second timeout. 5:33 to go in the half, with Parsons leading at 21-7. Once again, we'll keep it here at Marble Park. Give me a chance to say thank you to the rest of our sponsors bringing you Viking football this season. I want to say thank you to Tank Connection, Wood Insurance Center, Strategic Partners, also Roy's Auto Service, Bowen Pharmacy, Parsons Educational Foundation, Parsons District Schools, Day and Zimmerman, and SEK Orthopedic, all bringing you Viking football in 2022. And, you know, Joe, I say this every year. I usually wait till the end of the season, but I might as well say it now. I always like to remind our listeners, no sponsors equals no broadcast. And so we don't just say thank you to say it, we really mean it. You know, these sponsors just come out year after year, and even alluded to in his pregame show, the Vikings, you know, we had some rough years, you know, to say the least, but we still had local businesses supporting the kids and the school and the community, and that's great to see. Some great local businesses in Parsons. 3rd and 13 now as play resumes. Riverton needs to pick up a first down. All the momentum has shifted in favor of the Vikings. Oh, a bad toss. It's a fumble. Ball is loose. Vikings had a great shot at it, but I think Riverton, I'm pretty sure Riverton has it, although the Vikings should have had it. Vikings should have had it. That would have given the Vikings first and goal from around the 8-yard line as it stands. Now Riverton's going to have to punt deep in their own territory. Well, that'll give a chance once again for Jesse Jones to show what he can do. He's going to set up around the Riverton 45. Yeah, there's an errant snap. Ryder Phillips about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Better snap this time. Short kick, bounces around the 25 and just rolls forward to about the 28, 29-yard line. So outstanding field position for the Vikings. And now we heard a whistle. Clock stopped, 5:15 to go in the first half. Okay, so we're gonna have a stoppage in play. We have a Riverton player down across the way. I certainly hope it's nothing serious. It looks like we're gonna have a bit of an injury timeout. Let's step away for a 1-minute break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
My name is Bria, and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy. I'm here today to tell you about one of our patient programs, Meds to Beds. Bowen Pharmacy South is located in the medical office building at Labette Health. Our staff works closely with the doctors, nurses, and social care workers to ensure that your transition out of the hospital is an easier and more convenient experience for you and your loved ones. If you are having inpatient or outpatient surgery, we will get your medications directly from your doctor and deliver them right to your hospital bed. If you are having a baby, we will get your medications or anything else that you may need to get your family home without the hassle of making several stops along the way. Whether you're here for a few hours or a few days, we are here at Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South to help get you well without any interruption in transition of care. Just ask for Meds to Beds. At Bowen Pharmacy and Bowen Pharmacy South, we are here for you today.
Welcome back to Marvel Park, everybody. Scott Marlowe, Joe Stringer with you. Vikings leading this contest 21-7, 5:15 to go in the first half. We have an injured Riverton Ram player across the way. I did not see what happened, but he basically collapsed, is what I was told, on the sideline. They are bringing a stretcher out. I saw one of the trainers or one of the coaches doing something to one of his legs very briefly, and then that's been it. Right now there are so many guys huddled around this injured player that we have no idea who it is. We can just only hope and pray that it's nothing serious. They have brought the stretcher out, and we're going to play will be halted for quite a while here while they attend to this injured player. I'll recap the action for anybody who might be joining us late. Riverton had a very impressive 74-yard drive to open this ball game. Took nearly 5 minutes off the clock, and it was aided by a couple of Viking penalties, but nonetheless, it was an impressive drive. They did most of their damage on the ground. North, the running back, had some nice runs, and he capped off that 74-yard drive with a 1-yard run to give Riverton a 7-0 lead. Everything continued to go in favor of the Rams. The Vikings fumbled the ball away on their first possession, and Riverton kind of looked like they were well on their way to having a 2-possession lead, but Marion Ryan changed everything with an interception, and he was nearly lost his balance, but he was able to find his way down the far sideline and got into the end zone for a pick six. That tied the score at 7-all, and it's been all Vikings ever since. They had a one-play, 26-yard drive. It was a 26-yard pass from Trey Mack to Jesse Jones. That put the Vikings up 14-7. And then the Vikings went with a 3 running back attack for the most part on their last possession. And Jamarion Washington powered it in from 1 yard out. And Jace Quirin a perfect 3 for 3 on extra points. Vikings up 21-7. We're still probably going to be a while before play resumes. Again, 21-7, Vikes on top, 5:15 to go in quarter number 2. Let's send it back to the station for a 2-minute commercial break, and then we'll be back. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
At Labette Health, we've earned our place as a top 100 hospital in the nation for joint replacement. Serving a 6-county area since 1961, Labette Health has also earned national recognition as a respected regional medical center renowned for its comprehensive healthcare services and commitment to high-quality patient care. With over 80 physicians and providers throughout southeast Kansas, Labette Health is 100% devoted to medical excellence. For more information or to find a provider near you, call 620-421-4881 or visit LavetteHealth.com.
Day & Zimmerman, one of the largest privately owned companies in the U.S. with operations across the country and internationally. We are comprised of multiple brands that put people to work, protect our freedoms, and improve the world. The Parsons, Kansas location has manufactured munitions for over 50 years for our country's warfighters. Day & Zimmerman has immediate openings for production operators starting at $18.02 an hour on our weekend crew. Work a 12-hour day shift Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and receive 40 hours of pay. We also offer competitive benefits. Apply today.
With many years of combined experience, Eye Care Associates of Parsons has set the framework in providing comprehensive eye health examinations for all ages and routine vision care for families throughout the 4-state area. Our optometrists and staff provide remarkable care with state-of-the-art technology to help with diagnosis and management of eye health conditions. Give us a call or visit our website to schedule your next eye exam. Eye Care Associates of Parsons. Experience modern eye care.
With you across the way, they are still attending to an injured Riverton Ram. The Vikings leading this from 21-7. then after the Vikings fumbled the ball away on their first possession, Riverton was driving down the field again, but then an interception returned for a touchdown by Marion Ryan, tied the score at 7 points apiece. Then later, late in the first quarter, the Vikings had a 26-yard pass from Trey Mack to Jesse Jones to grab the lead for the first time tonight. Then with 7 minutes to go in the first half, Jamarion Washington had a 1-yard touchdown run. And then with 2 minutes to go in the half, Kendrick had a 2-yard touchdown run, and that got us up to our halftime score of 28-7. But Vikings, here again, the one negative other than the turnover I saw, Joe, were some penalties, and that's always going to happen at the high school level. But they had quite a few last week, and they had several in the first half. So I know Coach Schaub will want to clean that up in the second half.
We were talking before halftime about the penalties. The Vikings have to come out because their schedule the next 3 weeks is not a schedule that they can risk having all these penalties. Galena will take advantage of it. Galena will really show them that those penalties will cause consequences. Right now, this first 5 weeks, those penalties haven't had consequences really because the Vikings have been outmatching their opponents. That's not going to be the case next week. So they need to clean up in practice. They need to clean up. They need to, this second half, have a clean, penalty-free half and go into Galena knowing, okay, you can do it. This is how we play ball. And I think that if they do that, playing Galena will be a great game. If they commit penalties at home, I'm sorry that we might end up putting a loss out there if we keep committing these unnecessary penalties.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to that frustrating loss the Vikings had to Galena on the last play of the game when they threw it into the deep corner in the end zone, and they had an outstanding tight end who was able to go up high and secure the ball and bring it down for the win. But the Vikings, it's been a while since they've beat Galena, and I know they'd like to go down there and get the win. And while this game is definitely not over, we'll just say if this score holds up, the Vikings are going to be 5-0 going down there. Galena sitting at 2-2 right now, I believe, so they're not the dominant Galena that we've seen over the last few years. But the Bulldogs are tough, and you mentioned it earlier, they always play well at home. We're just about ready for second half action. We still have about 1:15 on the scoreboard clock, but both teams are out on the field. Vikings will have the first possession of the second half. In case you missed it, we had what looked to be some sort of scary injury by one of the Riverton players in the first half, and they brought the stretcher out immediately, but fortunately they were able to get the young man up to a sitting position, and eventually he was able to walk over to the bench. I won't say under his own power, but for the most part. He was assisted a little bit, I think, by one of the coaches, but we're certainly continuing to hope and pray that it was nothing serious and that he'll be able to have a quick and full recovery. Riverton kickoff team now out on the field. Here comes the Viking return team, Zach Feldkamp. Is a junior. The ball teed up at the 40-yard line.
Ready to get the second half underway. The Vikings set to receive the ball.
And we're just about ready for second half action. Again, your score, Parsons 28, Riverton 7. Riverton looking for their first win of the season. Vikings are looking to remain undefeated in 2022. Watch out for an onside kick. Wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit of trickery coming out of the locker room by Riverton. Nope, they kick it. It's a low line drive kick, and it gets by the return man. It's going to bounce back inside the 10-yard line. Let's see if the Vikings can make something out of nothing. Return to the 20-yard line, and then brought down about the 22. Ball took a funny bounce, got by Kendrick, but he was able to at least get it out of back inside the 5-yard line, was able to get it back out across the 20 to the 23. So it's not great field position, but not horrible field position for the Vikings as they get going here in quarter number 3. Jamarion Washington was a workhorse in the first half, got a lot of touches for the Vikings. Vikings didn't have to put the ball in the air a whole lot. The offensive line did a good job protecting Trey Mack the handful of times he did throw the ball. Once again, Washington cuts back. This is going to be a pretty nice gain. Stiff arm, 30, 35, 40, still on his feet, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and he is into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. One play, and it goes 77 yards rather. And just like that, the Vikings lead this one 34-7. And Joe, I've mentioned this on almost every long touchdown run by Jamarion Washington. He's a big, strong runner, and he's just deceptively fast because he continues to outrun defenses once he gets into the open. It's just unbelievable. We're on to attempt the extra point. High snap. Great job by Kendrick getting the hold down, and the kick is good. Nice job by Kendrick and Quirin. 11:39 to go in the third quarter. Vikings lead this one 35-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking Football on B93.
With many years of combined experience, Eye Care Associates of Parsons has set the framework in providing comprehensive eye health examinations for all ages and routine vision care for families throughout the 4-state area. Our optometrists and staff provide remarkable care with state-of-the-art technology to help with diagnosis and management of eye health conditions. Give us a call or visit our website to schedule your next eye exam. Eye Care Associates of Parsons. Experience modern eye care.
Yeah, what a start to the second half for Jamarion Washington and the Parsons Vikings. Washington had about 53 yards rushing in the first half. He eclipses that with one run. He goes 77 yards. Like he wanted to go left and then cut back to the right. And once he got past the second wave of defenders, the linebackers, he was just gone. And went up the near sideline, and boy, Joe, not the start that Riverton needed because they didn't show much of a passing attack, and now they find themselves down 28 early in the second half, and it could be a long third and fourth quarter here for the Rams. A very impressive run by Washington, and offensive line did a good job giving him a big haul. Kickoff is fielded at the 5-yard line. We've got a nice return out across the 30. We're about the 33. And Riverton will start around their own 34-yard line, it looks like, but they have a big mountain to climb.
I know a lot of times about this time, people get answer and they're like, what can I do for the rest of the night? I just want to remind everybody, this Friday downtown, music, food, discounts, specials at some of the businesses, go check it out. If you don't leave the game early, go
Right.
support your community downtown.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I'm sure there's probably already a lot of people there, although I will say we still have a very nice crowd on hand here at Marvel Park. Wow. First down running play, the Vikings come swarming in. Loss on the play. Right.
But that's what that running back went into, was a steal beam.
Loss on the play. Yeah, because of that beam, I wasn't even able to see who the running back was. North has been the primary ball carrier, but with the score slowly starting to get out of hand, I see somebody else in the backfield as well. Meanwhile, 2nd and 15 now for the Rams. Goodman hands it off right up the middle. Chris Beard in on the action for the Vikes. Possibly Kelly. See, there was a whole host of Vikings. I tell you, this Viking defense, they gave up some big yardage on Riverton's first drive, and I think they took it personally because they have really shut down the Riverton offense ever since. Well, Chris Beard, has been so nice having him back for his senior season. The kid is just an absolute superstar out there. Third and long, flag was thrown, pass nearly intercepted. I don't know if it was a hold or roughing the passer. Again, I'm still trying to work around this support post out at Marble Park. It's a hold on Riverton, and the Vikings will decline that penalty. 10-13 to go in the third quarter. Vikings leading this one 35-7. After Riverton jumped out to a quick 7-0 lead. And since the Vikings decline that penalty, it's going to result in a punting situation for the Rams. Ryder Phillips standing on his own 15-yard line, kicking away to Jesse Jones. Trying to angle it away from Jesse. That's good strategy. Jesse fumbles it. He's going to have to pick it up around the 25-yard line. He's going to try to use his speed to outrun Riverton. He's at the 30, 35, still coming to the nearest sideline. Got some blockers and then hit hard at around the 45. So fortunately, the Vikings' athleticism has helped him out. And now I see Cade Brown, I believe, injured. And boy, Cade has had a rough year. He limps off.
That return is that. And watching it reminds me of Lebanon. When he stutters, he hesitates, waits for his blocks, and he finds that ball. That could have been a horrible return. But that stuttering how patient he was running that ball, he turned into something quite nice.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. I wouldn't have thought of that, but you're absolutely right. And you're right, Vikings, even on the kickoff, they could have been, on their previous possession, could have been backed up inside their 10, but their athleticism has bailed them out a couple of times here in the second half. Mack wants to throw on first down. Quick out in the flat now to Washington. He's got some blockers. Falls forward into Riverton territory down to about the 46. A nice pickup on first down. You think of Washington as just a hard runner, but he's made some nice plays and some nice catches coming out of the backfield. He's got pretty soft hands for a big guy. Baker out on the field. Now he's headed right back to the sideline. He's going to be replaced by Cam Kendrick. Davis West will be split to the near side. J.J. Kendrick. I think we're going to call his name before this game is over. It's a toss play to Washington. Great blocking out front. 35, he powers through a couple of Riverton defenders, gets it inside the 30, more than enough for the first down. Hats off to the offensive line for the Vikings. They are really taking care of business. They've taken care of business really the entire season. Vikings quickly up to the line of scrimmage, trying to catch Riverton off guard. Toss play to the near side, nearly fumbled by Washington, and now a flag on the play as he spins forward inside the 25, but I have a feeling this one may be coming back. We have a hold on the Vikings. That'll be their first penalty of the second half. 8:47 to go in the third quarter with Parsons leading Riverton 35-7. Riverton, of course, out of the CNC. Vikings independent on the football side of things, longtime members of the SEK, but ever since they dropped from 4A to 3A, they pretty much had no choice but to leave the SEK. But there are five, it's gone from 6 teams in the district to 5 this year. It was like 3A went from 48 teams down to 40, so they had to make some adjustments. Another toss play, time to Casey Beard, looking for the sideline, and he has a pretty nice pickup. Got back most of that penalty yardage. Casey Beard, as we may slowly see Coach Scheibe kind of going to some of those, I hate to call them reserves, but because they're really not, but Casey, not the starting running back, of course. That's Jamarion Washington, but He runs hard. He's not a very big kid, but everybody that I talk to says he's tough as nails. Ball spotted at the 30-yard line, 2nd and about 12 for Parsons. They lead big, 35-7. 3 receiver set. Beard is the running back. Mack rolls right and has a receiver. West catches it at the 20 and then steps out of bounds at the 15. Couldn't get away from the cornerback. But a nice reception, and that should be enough for the first down. Vikings continuing to have their way with the Rams. Washington back into the lineup for Parsons. Beard will head to the sidelines. And I know most of the passes tonight, Joe, have been quick hitters for the Vikes, but you know it's so nice to see when Mack does throw. He's had whatever time he needs, he's had it. So you know, hats off to the offensive line as they continue to do their job. Yeah, I do too. Here's a running play to Washington inside the 10. He continues to run hard. Yeah, he's a great running back, and he was hampered most of last season with a sprained ankle, and what part of it is that he's a year older, he's a year bigger, a year stronger, but I think the biggest thing is that he's been healthy this year, and he has certainly been able to showcase his power and his speed now that he's fully healthy, and he's going to stay out there for the 2nd down play. Mack will be in the pistol, 4 receiver set, but they give it to Washington. Great push by the offensive line, and he walks into the end zone for another Viking touchdown. It's now 41-7, 7:46 to go in quarter number 3. And I mean, it looked like that offensive line shoved the defensive line 5 yards backwards on that play, and it was an easy score for the junior running back. Extra point by Quirin. Good once again. He is perfect. 6 for 6. And your score, Parsons 42, Riverton 7. We'll be back at the kickoff in 30 seconds. You're listening to Viking Football on V93.
V93.5 is your home for the best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today. Get your day started with the Anna and Raven Morning Show. You're the judge during couples court. The couple share their disagreement, and then you decide who's right. Think you know pop culture trivia? It could pay off, and you score the cash jackpot when you play Can't Beat Raven. Krause in the House gets you home every weekday afternoon starting at 2. Stream us anytime, anywhere. KLKC Radio.com.
No, but in Washington.
Huh?
I thought Washington.
He had a reception, yeah. We are live at Marvel Park, 7:46 to go in quarter number 3. Scott Marlowe, Joe Stringer, statistician Warren Marlowe with you tonight. 42-7 is your score. Vikings had a rough start to this game. The first 7 minutes, 8 minutes of this game belonged to Riverton, but the Vikings got a pick 6 from Marion Ryan, and that turned the tide, and it has been all Vikings ever since. Jace Portman prepared to kick off. He's been putting this ball back to about the 5-yard line every time. This is going to be a low line drive kick fielded by one of the up men at the 20-yard line, and he returns it back to about the 29, and that's where Riverton will take over. But if this score holds up, as it is right now, we will be looking at a running clock in quarter number 4. Parsons leading this one 42-7. They are headed to 5-0 this season. Probably their 3 toughest games, though, still remain on their schedule. They have a pretty difficult district this year. They already knocked off Baxter. Tonight's game is technically not a district game. They're just looking for an opponent to fill out their schedule. First down, Riverton throws it into the flat. The receiver couldn't haul it in. It was a little bit overthrown. That'll bring up 2nd down for the Rams. And Riverton hurt themselves. They've only had the one turnover, I believe, but Coach Scheibe mentioned they have hurt themselves all year long with turnovers, and even though they've only had the one tonight, it was the one play that really turned this game around. Running play to the far side, and wow, that running back gets absolutely demolished at the 25. Gets helped up by the Viking defense, and I'm glad he's okay because he took a hard hit over there. This Viking defense is not letting up at all. Ball spotted at the 25-yard line. Going to be 3rd and 14. We'll see if the Riverton coaching staff wants to put this ball in the air. Ever since that interception, they've been pretty reluctant to go downfield. They've thrown some balls out into the flat. Let's see what they dial up here. Noah Harper split wide to the near side, and we have a flag, I think, delay a game. Yep, 5 yards. Riverton gets backed up a little bit more. 3rd and 19 now. 6:48 to go in quarter number 3. It's all Vikings, 42-7. Goodman. Well, I don't even know. I don't think Goodman is in at quarterback. Back. It's going to be an option play. The pitch play goes nowhere. Chris Beard blew that up. Oh, and they're going to throw some sort of taunting flag on Chris Beard, and I don't like that. He was just excited. That was just a high school football player being excited about making a big play. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So it's official's job to actually control this. And this is something that they need to do. The kids can't just get away with this stuff. They need to be penalized.
It's going to be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It was a dead ball foul. It should still be 4th down. It should be 4th down if I'm thinking right. Because I think that was the 3rd down play, and then that was a dead ball foul, and sure enough, yeah, they just flipped it over to 4th down. So they'll still have to punt, but so Riverton will have to punt once again, pretty deep in their own territory. Punter standing on his own 11. Off a nice kick this time. Fielded about the 4. Fumbled once again by the Vikings. Picked up at the 45. We return now into Riverton territory at the 40, 35. Still on his feet and caught from behind at about the 31.
It was a nice return. Let me tell you, Coach Scheibe's not going to be happy with it.
Yeah, and they said Casey Beard. I don't think that was Casey Beard on the return. I think it was number 7, I believe. And I'm going to have to get some help on, I haven't called his name all year. Mackay, B-A-U-G-H. Bow. What is it? Baugh? Kai Baugh. But yeah, you're right. The Vikings, their athleticism has bailed them out 3 times now. 2 fumbles. One was just kind of an errant bounce. I think they got a bad bounce on the kickoff. But yeah, they're going to have to start fielding those kickoffs and punts a little bit cleaner. There's a running play coming to the near side. It's Cam Kendrick, cuts back at the 30, and then tackled at the 28 or the 29. Clock on the move, 6:14 to go in quarter number 3. Parsons on top, 42-7. Riverton had the lead and the momentum for over half of the first quarter, but ever since Ryan's interception that he took back to the house to tie this game at 7, it's just been all Vikings. Washington back out on the field. 3 receivers to the far side, and they're going to throw it out into the flat. That maybe Kendrick finally getting a touch, coming back to the near side, looking for some blockers at the 20, 15, 10, and he's knocked out of bounds. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Vikes from the 9. It's the first time JJ's got to touch the ball tonight. He's a great receiver, but
that offensive line stayed home.
Yes, they did.
They had a fence, and he was able to run all the way behind them, all the way across the field to Parsons Vikings.
And you know, we've mentioned the offensive line a few times, and I can just remember in years past where, you know, just the whole team wasn't solid. There just wasn't, and not only were they not great up front, they had a lot of penalties too. So it's nice to see. And now they throw it out in the flat to Jesse Jones, and look at that, it's a walk-in touchdown. Talk about some good blocking by some. Oh, take it back. I saw some great blocks, but the official saw a hold. And I'm not saying there wasn't a hold because we've got 22 guys out there to keep track of. So I'm sure the hold took place, and that's probably why it was so wide open. But so you saw a hold. I was watching the wrong guy then because I saw a tremendous block, but then there was obviously a second guy out there who instead of blocking was holding. So that's why it's always good to have an extra set of eyes up here in the booth. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Take that touchdown off the board. And the Vikings are now facing first and goal from the 19, but the way the Viking offense has been clicking, I wouldn't be surprised if they find the end zone anyway, and they may do it in 1 or 2 plays. Mack from the pistol, takes the snap, rolls right, looking toward the end zone. He's got a man open. It's a touchdown for J.J. Kendrick.
Touchdown!
Got behind the cornerback, Noah Harper. And a 10-yard penalty. Didn't slow down the Vikings one bit. 19-yard pass from Trey Mack to J.J. Kendrick, and the Vikings continue to roll over Riverton, now 48-7. Extra point try on the way, and it is good. 49-7, and now it looks like we're going to have a running clock the rest of the way. We'll keep it right here at Marvell Park. I want to squeeze in a thank you again to our sponsors who are bringing you Viking football. Again, our title sponsor, Labette Health. We also want to say thank you to Labette Community College, Forbes Hoffman Funeral Homes, Clemens Insurance Agency, Woodworth Enterprises, Herman Lumber, Carson Wall Funeral Homes, Commercial Bank, Eye Care Associates of Parsons, Labette Bank, Bartlett Co-op, Labette Center for Mental Health Services, Community National Bank, Tank Connection, Wood Insurance Center, also Strategic Partners, Roy's Auto Service, Bowen Pharmacy, Parsons Educational Foundation, Parsons District Schools, Day and Zimmerman, SEK Orthopedic, and last but not least, Snyder's Lawn Service, all bringing you Viking football in 2022, and what a season it has been so far for the Vikings. 5-0, not officially 5-0, but it's going to be 5-0 in about 15 minutes of game time. 3:41 on the clock, with the Vikings leading at 49-7. Jason Clearan prepared to kick off. 2 return men back at the 5-yard line. It's going to be a little bit shorter of a kick. Bounces about the 18, fielded at the 15. And back to the 20, 25. Nice return if he can get to the corner, and he does. Turns it upfield to the 40, 45. He's into Viking territory before being run out of bounds. I'm not sure if the Vikings may have had some reserve JV guys in on that kickoff. Regardless, it was a nice return. By the Riverton Rams, Lake Crowder was the return man for Riverton. Best field position Riverton has had in quite some time. They'll have it 1st and 10 from the Viking 38. It's all Vikings right now, 49-7. Riverton offense out on the field. Running play right up the middle, Ryder Goodman. I think maybe he was out for not just been one play or one series, but he's back in there at quarterback for the Rams. Running play goes for about 2 yards. Bring up 2nd down and 8. 3:10 to go in quarter number 3. Yep, I think so. Yep. Yeah, and sometimes things can get really sloppy when it's a blowout. So that's good, a good sign for the Vikes. So they have cleaned it up a little bit. Over left tackle, another running play. And obviously Riverton knows that they're not going to be able to come back from a 42-point deficit, so they're just going to go with their strength, which is the ground game. Ball spotted at the Viking 32, brings up about a 34 for the Rams, 2:15 to go in quarter number 3. And most likely we'll have a running clock in quarter number 4. Goodman under center, looks over the defense. Long snap count, there's the snap. Running play right up the middle. There is Chris Beard again. If Chris Beard wraps you up, you're just gonna, there's not a whole lot you can do. Now we have an injured Viking. Riding in pain around the 33-yard line. Viking coach is quickly out to attend the injured Viking. Clock stopped, minute 48 to go in the third quarter with Parsons leading at 49-7.
It's not pretty, like you see a lot in the film, hitting and trying to wrap them up. These kids are wrapping them up like they've been taught and they're bringing it to the ground.
And good news for the Vikings as their injured player pops up and is going to be able to come off under his own power. I think maybe he hurt his arm or his elbow, or maybe his forearm. Able to get off to the sideline. Trey Ginder, I believe, was the injured player. So play will resume. Fourth down play for Riverton, 4th and 3, trying to draw the Vikings off sides. They did that a couple of times back in the first half. Vikings not going for it this time. Long snap count, 5 seconds on the play clock. Vikings being very patient. 1 second, and the Vikings hold it. I think we have a timeout with 1 second on the play clock called by Riverton. Minute 43 to go. In the third quarter, rather, with the Vikings leading at 49-7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is Viking football on B93.
My name is Bria and I'm a pharmacist at Bowen Pharmacy. I'm here today to tell you about one of our patient programs, Meds to Beds. Bowen Pharmacy South is located in the medical office building at Labette Health. Our staff works closely with the doctors, nurses, and social care workers to ensure that your transition out of the hospital is an easier and more convenient experience for you and your loved ones. If you are having inpatient or outpatient surgery, we will get your medications directly from your doctor and deliver them right to your hospital bed. If you are having a baby, we will get your medications or anything else that you may need to get your family home without the hassle of making several stops along the way. Whether you're here for a few hours or a few